Aunt Harriet's Underground Railroad in the Sky, Lesson 7. So, you'll remember that today we are going to pick up with Cassie as she starts her journey along the Underground Railroad. We're going to make a list of the stops she makes along the way. You might think of these as stations on a real railroad. So, we're going to create a kind of railroad schedule. When we put them all together, they will all lead her all the way to Canada. Let's get started. To read today, pay special attention to Cassie's experience. Later, we will have a chance to write about her feelings together. First, you must escape from the slave plantation. Tell no one. Wait until night falls so you will not be seen. Then follow the trail through the woods to a gray farmhouse on a river. Your first night will be the hardest. Listen carefully to the song of the birds. When you are in danger, their song will become screams that only you can hear. Then you must stop and head to the opposite direction. When you lie down to rest, you will hear me sing the old spiritual, "Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaoh, let my people go. Let me lullaby you to sleep. When I stop singing and you hear the birds scream, wake up, move on." So what does the author mean when she writes that the songs of the birds will become screams? So birds might be issuing warning cries, although they would really be communicating with each other rather than with Cassie. I reached the gray farmhouse on the river. I slept in the farmer's attic. It was dark and scary. Cobwebs hung from the ceiling like gray ghosts, but the farmer and his wife were very kind. There was a note under the pillow. "Dear Cassie, I am very frightened, but I am a big boy and will not turn back. Love, BB." Then Aunt Harriet's voice came like a gust of wind. So we have the first stop, which is the gray farmhouse. Let's begin our list. So also, I'm a little confused here because we just found a note, right? Cassie found a note from her brother, and we know that he is on the ghost train, but now I realize he's ahead of her. But I thought the ghost train was moving across the sky, not on the ground. So, how can I make sense of this? Maybe BB's train comes down and stops at the same places in this fantasy? Follow the river north until you reach a clapboard house with green shutters and a red brick chimney. There will be a blind railroad agent who will ask you to sing a song. You will sing, "Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaoh, let my people go." She will give you food and a place to sleep. By nightfall, you must be on your way through the woods. So here is our second stop, the house with green shutters. I'm going to add that to our list. So I found Baby's baseball cap floating in the swamp. It was worn to shreds. I squeezed the mud out of it. Leave the cap, Cassie, Aunt Harriet's whispering voice said. Go on to the weather-beaten frame house with the star quilt flung on the roof. If you don't see the quilt, hide in the woods until it appears. Then it is safe to go in. The next night, follow the road to the bridge, several miles away. So let's add this stop, the house to the quilt. How do you think Harriet Tubman was able to put together all of these stops? I traveled through the woods and swamps. I was cold, wet, and very hungry, but I could not turn back. When I reached the bridge, I hid in a graveyard on a hill overlooking the river. It was there I found Baby's toy soldiers and a set of his baseball cards buried alongside the grave of a boy Baby's age. I was too afraid to cry. I lay awake till I heard Aunt Harriet's familiar whisper. Wait for a railroad agent disguised as a gravedigger. He will say, I bring you a ticket for the railroad. Now the tears came streaming down my cheeks like rain. I could see Baby soon, soon, soon. So do you think we should count the graveyard as a stop on the railroad? I think we can because she has met a new conductor. We're going to add graveyard to the list of stops. In a tiny yellow house on the edge of the city, a little girl my age gave me a ticket for the steam car and sewed a fake pass to freedom she had made on my undershirt. It read, Cassie Louise Lightfoot, freeborn in New York. Show that to anyone who tries to take you back to the slave's plantation, she said. So the yellow house is the next stop, so we can add that to our train schedule. What does the girl mean by a steam car? Cassie may travel a short ways on a real railroad, but sometimes it is impossible to infer beyond a doubt, so we don't have enough evidence here. We just have to make reasonable guesses. I reached the back door of the shoemaker's house and knocked 3 times. That time, I slept in a secret room behind a bookcase. Phoebe had been there and left another note. Let's add the next stop, the shoemaker's house. Dear Cassie, I have a new baby sister. She was born today. Her name is Freedom. Her mother got sick and went to heaven. She let me carry baby Freedom on my back. Love, Phoebe. Why does Phoebe call the baby his sister? So, after a few days' rest, I started out again, with new shoes and a shoemaker made me. Move on, Move on, Cassie, Aunt Harriet's voice told me. You are very close to the border of the free state of Pennsylvania. Look for the letter P written on a rock facing north. But still beware of bounty hunters. They can kidnap you at any time. Until you reach Canada, you are not safe. In New York, a bookbinder hid me in a secret compartment he had built into his wagon. In a downpour of rain, he delivered me to a funeral parlor. There was a funeral going on, so no one noticed me. The undertaker gave me a withered rose Bebe had left, pressed in a book with a note. Dear Cassie, we stayed at the house of a millionaire. We gave Aunt Harriet a bunch of money. We will never be hungry again. Love, Bebe. The undertaker gave me a fresh-cut rose, hid me in a coffin in his hearse, and took me to Niagara Falls. Now I was just over the bridge from Canada. So I think that there are two stops on this page. We might call the first one the bookbinder's compartment. What should we call the second one? We're going to stop here.